definitely want to talk to you a little bit around why we're all here, why this project kind of came to be from the first place. When I had my baby, one of my childhood friends also had a baby and they're a month apart in age. One Friday, she called me in a bit of a state saying, I can't make it today, I've got no petrol. Transfer her some money for petrol. She calls me and she's in tears and she says, I had to use that money to buy milk. We looked at all of the possible ways she can afford to go back to work. And the biggest thing for her is she doesn't want to feel like a charity case. She doesn't want to be on benefits. She wants to go and get her identity back and have something away from the home. And this is not just her fate, but there's so many other women that are falling between the cracks of the system and staying on benefits, wanting to get out, but have no other way to break free. So I said, what can we do as designers? We're design thinkers. What we say to Lauren's point is, how do we use what we do every day? How do we use the power of design and design thinking to actually think about this from a slightly different perspective? How do we use it to understand what challenges these people are going through and potentially and hopefully have some sort of meaningful impact off the back of that? Really, what we want from this session, from all of you, is to really start to essentially come up with ideas that we can take into a prototyping. Say your name, your company, your role, and then present. What do you see as your biggest work-related challenge for the upcoming year? Rich is going for it.
First of all, what kind of came up a lot was shocking statistics working parents are facing across a number of different issues. 54k women lose their job just for getting pregnant or having a baby.
And people don't know these statistics are real and they exist. People have no idea that these women are facing these challenges.
We look at the average UK salary and then the percentage of what parents are spending on childcare is one of the highest in Europe.
It's one thing to be able to afford the nursery, but then getting your child into a nursery. Some of the wait lists are like a year to get your child into nursery. So it's not just affording it, it's that is there enough childcare available for everyone that needs it?
There's so many organisations doing amazing work, but they're not getting maybe the recognition or the acknowledgement that you might think that they should be. We went on to do 16 interviews with both parents and then some HR specialists to get the business side of this. So like we were talking about before, childcare is a massive issue, the cost and availability. Lots of other issues were coming out of these chats as well. So one of them was feeling of loneliness and lost of personal sense of identity whilst they were taking their parental leave. Feeling judged at work was a big thing that came up, that they're worried that they're maybe letting their team down, and yeah, just trying to find that right balance.
We took the kind of findings, Grace's work. You've got planning for the baby with plans or finding out that you're expecting, through to kind of telling your employer, setting that up, going on to parental leave, sourcing childcare, looking for your support while you're kind of on parental leave, ongoing, and what that looks like to return back to work, and then that ongoing process of balancing work and parenting. And the red thread throughout everything just came back to this idea of confidence, whether it's confidence in making decisions, confidence in asking what you wanted.
In my friend's case, she just accepted this is my fate because, again, for her it wasn't about the money, it was about her sense of identity and having something away from her children where she could do something.
What I love about this is the proof and the power of design thinking. We go into it thinking, this is the problem we want to solve. And then we find all this data and research and we synthesize it and we pivot. So we're going to jump into our ideation now. Think of everything that we've just been thinking about, just been discussing, you've been talking about during the break. And you're going to have 8 minutes to come up with 8 ideas that will address how might we empower parents to more confidently return to and remain in work. I'm going to start with this one because very clearly the biggest one.
Developers, when there's lots of development going on, they're creating land, they're reclaiming land to build new houses, and there's an obligation to create affordable housing and sometimes community spaces. Maybe there should be a remit for them to provide childcare. for these new housing estates, because a lot of the time they are for families.
To think about your career goals and how you can all make them open to the day before you go on leave, so you don't have that feeling of I'm just not meeting out, I've forgotten about. So how can we kind of do work
On a scale from like feasibility to, just call it awesomeness, fearlessness, if you can just start to have a think about how you would place some of the key topics.
I think when you get to culture and support, I think really good ideas, I think support might be a little more feasible.
Making a company the size of Theatre Set, that would be fairly straightforward, but a company the size of BT or BT, making everyone aware of all this stuff is actually incredibly difficult.
What's happening in your business, happening in your company kind of post that goes out every now and again that most people delete.
It's not going to raise the awareness.
But if we can create a different channel that actually has senior support and celebrates the awareness of it, it's going to have a lot more impact and will start to shift culture a lot easier.
Because I was thinking about it through the lens of like, what can I do as a leader? And so I can create resources, but I can also talk to my manager and my manager's manager and have those conversations and bring these things up and show how that would actually have a really big impact and a positive impact to everybody.
For me, flexibility, culture, support, awareness are the same thing. Like, I don't think you can really have any one of those without the others, but because they're all so interrelated. Like, you can't have a culture that accepts parents without flexibility. You can't come to support awareness without seeing that culture happening.
What I'm going to ask you to do is have a think. You've each got 3 dots where you feel are kind of the most pressing, however you feel like the most important, and I'll let you define what kind of most important means to you. Overwhelmingly, the area that I think we all really feel like is going to be our key area is awareness. So we want to build on that. I'm going to ask you to go into your groups here. So I'm going to give you a sheet, and your group leads are going to run through exactly what to expect.
The purpose of this is that we refocus our ideation on one specific area. What I really love about this is that we all ideate around the same thing, and the answers are still radically different, which is amazing. As you're all cracking up, as you're all collecting your stuff, and what we'd love to do is just to kind of get a little bit of feedback and understand kind of the session today. So a post-it note in each one of the 4. So something you love, something you liked, something you changed, and something you learned today. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this back to the office, and we're going to move into prototype phase, where we're actually going to take your ideas and start to do something with it. We will love to keep you in the loop going forward, and if there's more opportunities to bring you in the prototype and test phase, we will be in touch as well if you want to stay involved, of course. But yeah, thank you again for being here and sharing your brains with us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.